George Balekji, Adam Pellerin back here on Foxborough Rush. So, Adam, newsflash, I don't know if you know, the Patriots won 4 games each of the last 2 seasons.
Wow, that's bad.
Bill Belichick just absolutely driving that roster into the ground. Fracture between him and Robert Kraft of their relationship where, it was a, what did he say? It was like not majestic, but it was like, it's a beautiful final solution. We're parting ways. Then Robert Kraft publicly saying he fired Bill Belichick. Gerard Mayo didn't work out.
Oh, you could say that.
It's being really nice about it, too.
Yeah.
So Robert Kraft did appear on the Adam Schefter podcast, and he had this to say about the last 2 seasons. Some more accountability from Robert Kraft. Check it out.
Any Patriot fans that are out there, I can tell you I'm very excited about this upcoming season. The last 2 years were the worst years of my 31 years of ownership. We have to change that. We have a new coach in Mike Vrabel who is really connected with the players, who's doing great work. We have a young quarterback, a lot of great veterans, free agent veterans who came in, a great draft class. We're going to have fun this year, I promise.
And you said it was the worst 2 years of your 31 years of ownership?
31 years of ownership. I'm very proud. We never won a playoff. There was only one home playoff game in 34 years. I sat in the stands 1978. Earl Campbell ran for over 100 yards, and we lost. One home playoff game. We've owned the team 31 years. We've had 27 home playoff games, and we're privileged to win 23. I want that record to keep going.
First things first, give Robert Kraft credit. He takes accountability every time he speaks publicly. Actually.
Yeah.
But it's yeah, dude. No duh. 2 worst years.
Yeah. Well, math would tell you that. Literally the 2 worst records during his ownership. Yeah, I agree.
Going 4-13.
There's no debating that.
If you think about it, too, if it was the old setting of a 16-game season, that would have been a 3-13 team this past season because the Bills had to literally hand them a game week 17, week 18.
That's right.
For them to win it.
But I would say that, they were the 2 worst years of ownership in your 31 years.
Yeah.
But, how much blame do you take for that? You should take a significant amount.
If there's the pie, he's taking a 60, 70% of the blame.
He's the owner, right?
Right.
And he actively decided not to spend in 2023, right? And then actively, the Patriots as a whole and letting Bill Belichick run the show for too long.
Yes.
Right?
Eventually,
Bill
it was
the GM.
Bill the GM versus Bill the coach.
Right.
And it should have been Bill the coach at the end because he was still on top of his game.
Yeah, sure.
Defense was always top 5. But it's even too, and that's why he brought in a Bill O'Brien because Bill the coach, that's where he had the black eyes. Bill the coach brought in Matt Patricia and Joe Judge.
Right, exactly. And that was an absolute unmitigated disaster, right? And that made absolutely no sense in the whole thing about the titles, not giving him, the coordinator titles and all of that stuff.
He always
was just
had the
such
head coach
title.
title.
For a guy, right.
Interesting.
And yes, and the GM tag, right?
Yeah.
But for all of those years of, the Patriot way and not being a distraction, he was every bit of a distraction in his final years, with the Patriots. And if you can blame Robert Kraft for something related to Bill Belichick is not pulling the trigger sooner.
Right. And it's also with baking into Gerard Mayo's contract while he was still the DC or what was it, assistant linebackers coach or assistant safeties coach, whatever, that he would be the successor as a head coach. And the second Bill caught wind of that, walled him off, alienated him, cut off all communication. Where Bill Belichick, in Robert Kraft's dream, where he wants everything to be a Disney book, a Disney story, it would be Bill Belichick mentors Gerard Mayo. And I bet at Bill Belichick's retirement presser, it's Bill Belichick, it's Robert Kraft, and it's Gerard Mayo, and they have a photo of the 3 of them, and he hands over the franchise, and Gerard Mayo just takes over, and the next 10, 20 years is a successful head coach. Right? And for Robert Kraft as an owner and make him seem like the biggest genius. It didn't work out. Got ahead of his skis, but as a thing of, you said, held on to Bill too long, didn't pull the trigger, knew Gerard Mayo could not return as head coach, knew that wasn't working, so makes that call. But this was set up to be on him, and rightfully so for him to take it too. It was the worst 2 years of his time as an owner. And it's on him, and he does take the blame.
He takes the blame, and he also is trying to make it right. right?
Yep.
So as much as you give him criticism for, what we just talked about, you give him credit for, okay, Gerard Mayo did not work out. He's got to go.
Yeah.
And he got that done. We need to improve this roster. Let's open up the checkbook.
Yeah.
They spent over $300 million and they got that done. So you got to give him credit for that. And I have no doubt that he wants to win. He doesn't want to be in last place. He doesn't want to be the laughingstock. Like he said, he grew up with the Patriots being the laughingstock. I grew up with the Patriots being the laughingstock in New England. It's no fun.
Yeah.
And as an owner, it's less fun because everybody's looking at you upstairs and saying, what are you going to do to fix this? And so to his credit, he has taken steps to fix it.
And it'll be good to see what the steps are. I mean, it started with going with Mike Vrabel, bringing back Josh McDaniels, spending the money on the roster, but also letting Mike Vrabel, now he's running the show, but Mike Vrabel's more modern, how he built out his coaching staff, experience all over. But you notice with Robert Kraft that is corrected in a way of like to have a better pulse on the team, which is needed to an extent. You don't want meddling owners. You don't want like a David Tepper with Carolina.
No, Jerry Jones.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Who's like, the poster child for that. Or poster man, I guess you'd say. Poster old man.
Poster child for Jerry Jones. That's first time. That's great. Poster old man. Fantastic. I mean, that's what he is.
Right.
And to have the pulse of the team, though, to know when to make changes happen, and he will be more hands-on with Vrabel, but you have someone with a more serious football operation. As the owner, he tried to do too much. Let Bill run, put in an OC, hire Gerard Mayo without really going through an interview process, not talking about football. As you heard reports come out of interviews with coordinators. No, get it back to being about football. That's what you bring with Mike Vrabel, what they've done with their front office, what they've done with the draft. That's what's important.
Yeah, and I think they've done a good job this offseason with all of what we just talked about, and they've built a foundation for success. And I think that's important. You have the quarterback. Now you're building around the quarterback offensively. You draft the offensive lineman. We'll see what happens with some of the other weapons that they have. They dropped the running back, right? Out of Ohio State, Travion Henderson. And so, they're starting there. And defensively, I think they've done an outstanding job. That's going to be a really good defense this year. I know we talked about maybe adding T.J. Watt or another pass rusher. Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be, elite yet, but it's going to be good. It's the strongest part of their team so far. And so, yeah, I think that they have at least set the foundation for success, something to build on moving forward.
It's something we've seen change, too. Robert Kraft's still the owner. Mike Vrabel is head coach. It's the access.